5 bold NBA playoff predictions. I said eventually the Warriors would not get past the play-in, and the Lakers would. And they did last night. In a game against the Pelicans, they're a better team than the Pelicans. They've shown that the last couple of years, but it was a game of runs, back and forth, wild runs. The Lakers are a great do-or-die team. Sudden death team. Got to win tonight's game. They're a great team. LeBron is 12 out of his last 12. 12-0 in his last 12 do-or-die games. Game 7s, play-in games, he's 3-0. In-season tournament games, 12-0. They are great. If the Lakers were a band, they could rock you all night long once. They are not built for a world tour. There is no encore here. AD is a very old 31. You always cross your fingers on his health. And LeBron just old. Listen, they're great playing with the kids, but they need a nap every afternoon. You need 16 wins to be an NBA champion. And it probably would take the Lakers 25, 26, 27 total games to get there. With old LeBron and older than his age, AD, that's not going to happen. If you watch that game last night, LeBron and AD look cooked in the fourth quarter. In fact, the Lakers got a big break. Zion Williamson, they could not stop that freight train. He had 40 points and then walked off the court. I don't know what it is. He was hurt. He didn't limp. He walked off. I don't think they win if Zion stays. He was unstoppable last night. Championship teams almost always have a star, a vibrant, dynamic star in their 20s. D'Lo, can't trust him. Reeves, come on. Rui, nah. And now they face Denver. And Denver is big, and they're thick, and they're physical. And the games in Denver will be in high altitude. I think the Lakers match up with Denver. I've said that all year. They match up with them physically. But to beat them 4 times in 15, 16 games, and then to go win 16 total games out of about 26 it would take to win a championship, I don't see it happening. Isn't basketball great when the games mean something? Warriors out, Lakers in. Fun last night.
Yeah. So, I think that I totally agree with Colin in this regard. In terms of the Lakers and how, I think last night's game was, or when you're watching this video, the game, the play-in versus the Pelicans versus the Lakers really highlights the age of AD and LeBron. I watched that whole game start to finish, and I'm sure a lot of Lakers fans are going to say, oh, the Lakers would have won regardless of Zion. It's just, that game, I know the final score was 4 points, but that was because of the fouls to try to, get the free throws and to get the ball back. But so it was realistically a 2-point game, and Zion didn't play for the entire last 3 minutes. If you really don't think Zion is worth an additional 2 points, I really don't know what to tell you, especially that game. He was playing out of his mind. He was unstoppable, okay? I mean, he was an absolute animal. And it's devastating to see if you're a basketball fan. It's really sad to see because we were robbed of a great ending, and I really think that the Pelicans would have pulled that off. I mean, it was just crushing, and anyone who's ever been who plays sports competitively, who's ever been in that situation where you have the leader of your team who's tearing it up, and then you at that point you're all looking to Zion. It's all Zion, and deep down the way you're going to win this game is through Zion. He's putting up 40 points, he's doing everything, and also playing hard defense, physical, and the refs are letting everyone play. It was, exciting. And then when he goes down, sure, you still don't lose complete faith, but you all know deep down, oh my God, are you serious? Like, and you're dumbfounded. You're actually genuinely in shock. Just like an experience as if you're a fan and this happens, right? Like if you're, if you've ever been, I'm sure you had to have at this point, rooting for your team, you're really excited, everything's going great, and then your main guy goes down and you're just like, wait, no, that can't be. No. He's not actually hurt. He's just like banged up. He'll be back out, right? And because that's why I'm watching this game and I'm like, oh, Zion, like, is he going to come back? Can he at least come back for the last 2 minutes? What about the last minute? And it's just like, you don't hear any updates, and you're just like, he's done. And when he put it to his ab, to his stomach, I'm like, oh, that's definitely not good. Like I'm not seeing, usually when you get something in that general area, it's not something that you can tough out. It's your core, it's your whole body. It's, like even when you're just laying down and getting up, it hurts. Like no, just anything hurts. So it's a lot harder to just, bite your lip and just kind of, soldier on. It's just, it's not really possible, because it's just, again, it's why they talk about the importance of training your core and all of that, because everything you do, you're bracing that part of your body, and it's brutal. It's brutal. And so, especially when you're the size of Zion. So that was really a bummer to see. And so I think the Lakers got incredibly lucky. I think the Nuggets and the Lakers have the chance to make it a more competitive series than maybe the average person thinks. But I still do not think the Lakers have a true chance. LeBron at the end of that game was gassed. You can see it. His legs, he had nothing in his legs. That's why all his shots ended up being short. And his threes, he had nothing left in him. He knew that he had to drive to the basket again and again and again to get those points. And it still was only I think he had 23 points or something. And he emptied the tank in that game. And he can't do that against the Nuggets, because if he empties the tank, he then has another game just a day or two later. That's the problem, and he can't recover fast enough. And he can't rely on AD to pick up the slack. And he won't be able to drive to the basket as consistently, because you have someone like Jokic. They have the size and strength there. So the Lakers' success really ends up depending less on LeBron, because he's not going to be able to consistently he's not going to be able to average 30 plus points a game in the series against the Nuggets. It's just not. So what it really boils down to is, will AD be able to truly step up? And will D'Angelo Russell go, 6 for 8, 6 for 10 from 3, or have this big night? Will Austin Reeves really knock down that shot when they really need it in that moment? Or does it rim out? And that's the problem. You're now relying on this other mixed bag of cast and characters to be the difference makers, honestly, because it can't be LeBron. LeBron can be your foundation, but he won't be the difference maker, because he can't. In a game he can, but not throughout the entire series. If he can average 30 plus points a game and can rewind the clock, I will be wildly impressed. Wildly impressed. I just don't see it. Like Colin pointed out, he was gassed at the end of that fourth quarter, understandably so, but that's the problem. And then when you're relying on your physicality, when you are gassed, which is what LeBron does, relies on his physicality, it leaves you in no man's land. That's why even someone like a Steph Curry, if you were to have two players who are really tired, you're better off having a Steph Curry over a LeBron, because Steph still has a shot. And even though, of course, when you are tired, your legs go and your shots aren't that great, if you're a true shooter, if that is who you are, Steph's 3 game is not going to go that far down, right? I'm sure there's going to be some a little bit less, of a lower shooting percentage, but not by much. LeBron, on the other hand, does not have, that first step, does not have that explosiveness to get to the basket when he's really fried and exhausted, and is just weaker at that moment. And now, since he's not a pure shooter, his shot goes more. There's just more of a drop off ultimately. And so that is one of the problems that you have when you rely on physicality. It's definitely amazing to start the game, the first, second, third quarters, or if you are in a do or die go home game, because you can empty the tank. But even now, he emptied the tank, and again, he only put up 22, 23 points, and that would have not been enough. So I think the Lakers are in a very tough situation. I'm really not seeing them able to get past the Denver Nuggets. I really don't see it. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. Do you think the Lakers have what it takes to beat the Nuggets? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility, and it helps combat all the trolls and the haters. Thank you so much, and see you next time.